The Ultimate Husband. By Sky Kissing Wolf. Episode 22. A few ladies started to speculate. Some said that Mr. Darby was a middle-aged man with a slight stubble. Some said that Mr. Darby was tall and handsome. Every possibility was speculated. Finally, Grandmother Linden waved her hand and halted the discussions. It was then Felix brought a few men in and glanced around, but there was no sight of Darryl. "You'll leave the birthday present here then, I'll be going," said Felix as he bowed slightly. Grandmother Linden felt uneasy and nodded her head profusely, even returning a bow as sign of respect. After Felix left, his present was opened up. This time, it shocked them even more. It was a deed. "Here's to many years of birthdays and success. On your esteemed birthday, I present to you a special gift, Southernwood Villa, No. 88-foot. Dead silence. The whole hall was pin-drop silent. If a needle were to drop at that moment, it could be heard. This. A villa as a birthday gift. It was not just an ordinary villa, it was a Southernwood Villa. It was located within Donghai City's top community of villas. Within the Southernwood Villa community, 3 villas were the most expensive, A 66, A 88, and A 99. These 3 villas were sold for at least $10 million each. A 88 was the most expensive amongst the 3. It was located at the center of the community, with its private swimming pool, backyard, mini zoo, and mini aquarium. It was Grandmother Linden's birthday, and Felix had gifted this villa. Only one person did not have a shocked expression on her face. This person was Lily. Lily had a clear hatred for that piece of trash Darryl, but ever since he left, she found herself inexplicably thinking about him. Lily took out her cell phone, and could not help but to send Darryl a text message. "Lily, where are you?" "Very soon," Darryl replied. "Darryl, home, I'm packing up. Leaving tonight." Upon reading the reply, Lily felt an unexplainable feeling of unease in her heart. Darryl was a piece of trash, she should feel better if he left. Lily bit her lip tightly, and strangely enough, texted a reply to him. "Lily, wait for me, I'm coming back now." Maybe she wanted to see him for the last time. After all, they were married for 3 years. Even if it were a dog, some feelings would develop, moreover a human. "Mom, I'm going out for a while," said Lily softly as she left the villa. Everyone had yet to snap out of their shock. They were still dazed by Wayne and Felix's gifts and did not notice that Lily had left. Only Ashton followed Lily out quickly. Lily drove and stopped by the main entrance. Just as she got out of the car, she saw Ashton running toward her. "Lily Bud, why did you leave suddenly?" Ashton asked. "Granny is going to agree to our wedding after the banquet, let's head back quickly." "You go on ahead," said Lily as she hastily walked toward the residential community. "Lily Bud!" Ashton shouted as he grabbed Lily's wrist suddenly. He had seen the contents of the message that Lily had sent Darryl. "Are you going to meet that piece of trash?" Ashton took a deep breath, his eyes a little red. "What good is that piece of trash? Since he wants to leave, then let him leave. Why do you want to look for him? Come back with me." Ashton's heart was anxious. He knew very well that Wang Shiji's pinyin tie that he had given was a high-quality replica. Grandmother Linden would engage a professional appraiser to evaluate the scroll after the banquet is over, and when that happens, wouldn't the truth be revealed? Now that Ashton was left with nothing, all he wanted was to sleep with this goddess once. As long as Grandmother Linden agreed to the marriage, he can then justify having Lily over to his house without any security camera monitoring. It was that moment when Ashton planned to do something with Lily's drink. Wouldn't then the goddess be at his mercy? On that thought, Ashton touched his pocket where he kept a packet of sedative powder. The powder would dissolve instantly in water, just one sip was enough to render a person feeling weak. "Stop pulling me," said Lily softly. Ashton, I know you treat me well, but I want to see him one last time. No. Ashton exclaimed. Let's quickly head back, see if Granny agrees to our marriage. The two of them were arguing when a Land Rover stopped near them. Samantha stepped out of the car in her high heels. Ashton, Lily Bud, what are you guys doing? Asked Samantha hurriedly. Come back quickly, Granny is about to announce your marriage in a bit. I want to meet Daryl one last time, I'm not going back. I'm not going back no matter what you say. Lily answered as she bit her lip tightly. Ashton's gaze darted back and forth between Samantha and Lily and he had a wicked glee in his eyes. Auntie, let me get you something to drink. Ashton offered. Ashton went to a milk team shop and bought 2 cups of milk tea, which he secretly placed the sedative powder into both cups. Samantha was dragging Lily back when she saw Ashton approaching them with 2 cups of milk tea, and smiled upon that sight. The weather was hot, and they both drank the tea offered. Samantha laughed saying, Lily Bud, go back quickly and await Granny's announcement of your marriage. Look at Ashton, how caring of him to get us milk teas during such hot weather. As she was finishing her words, Samantha felt her body weakening, as if she could not keep herself balanced. Lily felt the same way, her hands shivered, and she dropped her cup of milk tea. Episode 23. 30 minutes later at Ashton's house. Somebody, help! Samantha screamed in despair. Never in Samantha's wildest dreams could she imagine that the expected son-in-law in her mind would do such a thing. Samantha and Lily were both tied up. Hush, said Ashton as he placed his finger on his lips as a motion of silence. Stop shouting, no one can hear you even if you shout till your throat is broken. My house's wall's thickness is 3 times the average. Save your energy. Ashton said as he beamed. Samantha clenched her fists tightly, her eyes were red. Ashton, don't be rash, you're a talented young man with a bright future, don't ruin it. Shut up. Ashton strode toward Samantha, grabbed her hair, and shouted. Ruin my future. Let me be honest with you, my future is already gone. I fought and struggled for my business for 10 years, and just as I've gotten some achievements. The Darby clan kicked me out of the company. What? What did you say? Lily was shocked. They chased you out of the company? Didn't you sell your company to buy me the worship of Crystal? Ha ha ha. Ashton laughed and slowly stood up from the bed. You believe that crap I said? I have a total of $30 million, do you think I'll use $30 million just to get you a pair of heels? You must be crazy. Ashton clenched his fists tightly. Yes, you're beautiful and sexy, but don't think too highly of yourself. To be honest, that pair of heels you received wasn't from me. I had thought that you were a classy goddess, Lily, but it turns out that you're just another rotten sh*t. You're with lots of other men, aren't you? If not, why wouldn't you know who gave you those heels? Ashton Adagio, you bastard. Lily was furious. She wanted to get up and give Ashton 2 hard slaps. However, she was tied up tightly and had no means to do so. All she could do was bite her lip so tightly that it almost bled. Ashton lit a cigarette from his pocket and took a huff. Don't worry, I'll be sure to take good care of you ladies in a bit. Ashton, you're a good man, why are you so impulsive? Asked Samantha as she stared blankly at him. Why? Retorted Ashton with a face full of self-deprecation. Because I have nothing left. The Darbys kicked me out and withdrew all support for me. Can you guess why the Darbys did such a thing to me? Saying that, Ashton let out a laugh. I asked the Darbys, and they told me that I had offended someone, that's why they kicked me out. Funny thing is, till now I have no idea who I offended. I've given up at this point, there's no way I can come back from this in this lifetime. Lily, I've liked you for so many years, today I must fulfill my wish. Lily and Samantha exchanged looks, both of them were in total despair. However, it was at this moment when there was a sudden knock on the door. Ashton's body flinched as he was frightened. He pointed at Samantha and Lily swiftly and warned, "If any of you dare to make any sound, I guarantee that it'll be the death of you." After that, Ashton called out, "Who is it?" "Greetings, sir, the candles you've ordered have arrived," answered a voice from the opposite side of the door. Ashton breathed a sigh of relief. It was just the delivery person. He had ordered candles as he initially wanted to invite Lily for a candlelight dinner after Grandmother Linden approved of their marriage, but now it was no longer necessary. "You can leave it at the door," instructed Ashton. "My apologies, sir, I require a signature to confirm receipt of the parcel." "So damn troublesome," said Ashton impatiently as he opened the door. It was at this moment that Samantha hurriedly glanced at Lily. "Quick, think of something." Lily understood Samantha's intentions. The effects of the drug have worn off, but her body was still weak. Through some considerable effort, she managed to get her cell phone out, wanting to send Daryl a text message. "Are you mad?" Samantha scolded softly. "Call the police." "What good is there to call that piece of trash?" "Call the police." Samantha's eyes were red. Even if that piece of trash were to come, he would be no use at all. She could not believe that at this time, Lily was still thinking about him. Eventually, that thought occurred to Lily and she called the police instead. The call connected, but Lily dared not make a sound. Instead, she tapped incessantly on her cell phone screen before hanging up quickly. If Ashton were to find out, the consequences would be too ghastly to contemplate. Donghai City's police force were professional and dutiful. If they were any intelligent, surely they would have guessed that someone was in danger. After Ashton signed for delivery, he placed the candles on the table and walked back toward the bedside. Ashton could not hold it back any longer upon seeing the two beauties. Meanwhile, at the Linden clan's villa. Episode 24. "Granny, Posia Eleganza's president, Emily Dickinson, is here." Wow! This time, the entire villa was in complete shock. If Wayne and Felix were said to have a great reputation in Donghai City, Emily's reputation was a step above both of them. Right now, Posia Eleganza's business was at the apex. Among the national cosmetic brands, Posia Eleganza's products received rave reviews and were leading in sales and market shares. Its newly released crown line was so difficult to get. Grandmother Linden knew President Dickinson as well. The crowd stared at the door, stunned. Emily was dressed in a business suit and high heels. She strode in with 5 to 6 burly men behind her. Many of the men there were stupefied. Emily's had an overpowering and alluring presence. Even though she was a woman, her presence was strong enough to overwhelm all the men around. "Excuse me, is Mr. Darby here?" Emily asked softly as she entered the hall, and placed the birthday present next to her feet. The present was not in a box, it was a grandfather clock made of pure gold. How much gold was needed for this? Everyone was dumbfounded. However, the most perplexing of all was that Emily came in, and asked the same as the others before. "Looking for Mr. Darby." Who exactly was Mr. Darby? Grandmother Linden was flattered. This was Emily Dickinson. The women around were all excited as well, they could not help themselves and came up to surround Emily. "President Dickinson, does your company still have stock left for the crown line? I would like to make a purchase." "Yes, President Dickinson, I'm willing to pay double the price for it. I'm even willing to pay 5 times the price. President Dickinson, please can you sell us a few sets?" The whole country was vying to buy the crown line cosmetics. Was there any woman who did not want it? Emily smiled and glanced around. She could not see Daryl and was a little disappointed. However, Emily had already made a proper inquiry, and Daryl was indeed at the Linden residence. She assumed that his relationship with the Lindens should be pretty good. On that thought, Emily spoke, "Sure, a friend of Mr. Darby is a friend of mine. Our crown line has indeed sold out, but I'm grateful for Mr. Darby for turning my life around. A few sets shouldn't be a problem. For real. I can't be dreaming, I'm gonna have the crown line. The few women were thrilled, but little did they know that Mr. Darby was actually the piece of trash that they have always looked down on. Ladies, said Emily as she waved her hand. Tell the total amount of crown line you need to Mr. Darby and he'll let me know. I'll be heading out now. I'll leave the birthday present here. Emily finished her words and left. President Dickinson, who exactly is Mr. Darby? A few of the women asked, but Emily was already long gone. If they could not locate Mr. Darby, then they would not be able to get the crown line. The women discussed anxiously among themselves. It is truly admirable that Granny's connections are so wide. At this moment, the White family patriarch, Claude, could not hold it any longer and stepped forward. Granny, our family has an interesting project recent and we're looking for partners. How about our clans cooperate? Who was Claude? He was none other than the talented patriarch of the White clan. He had been stunned from just now. Grandmother Linden's connections were so wide that she knew Wayne and Felix. Moreover, these people treated her with respect, and go as far as to give her birthday presents worth millions. Grandmother Linden had such good connections, nothing could be better than cooperating with her. Mr. White, hang on a moment. A middle-aged man walked up as well. He was La Fortuna's president, Galen Godfrey. Us at La Fortuna have a good project as well, said Galen with a broad smile. Even an idiot could tell that a lot of people in the hall would like to cooperate with the Linden clan now. Episode 25. Sure enough, after Galen had finished talking, several others followed suit, wanting to seek cooperation. The children of the Linden clan were full of smiles, this blessing came so fast. Suddenly Wentworth stood up. Wentworth, what is it? Grandmother Linden asked curiously. Grandmother Linden used to favor Wentworth. However, as Lily's father, ever since she got married to Darryl, she stopped favoring him as much. Wentworth waved his hand and said to her, Mom, as you know I've been overseas for the past while, and this time I'm back to celebrate your birthday. That said, I'm also back to bring you good news. It's a lucrative money-making project. Oh. Granny replied with her eyebrows raised. Do tell. Indeed, members of the Linden clan had heard that Wentworth made a lot of money overseas. When he came back, he casually gave Samantha and Lily 2 large checks. He truly made people envious. Wentworth let out a laugh. Mom, I made a friend when I was overseas. His name was Tony, he's a financier. We just need to give him money, and it will be doubled after a month. What? Everyone snorted at his words. Could it be any faker, doubled after a month? Wentworth took out his cell phone to show his transaction record and laughed. Come, see the records for yourself. The crowd surrounded Wentworth in an instant. Sure enough, the records showed that he had invested $10 million monthly for the past 6 months, and he received $20 million in return every month. Mom, I came back for 3 reasons, explained Wentworth. Firstly, it was to celebrate your birthday. Secondly, I know that you dislike Darryl, and with my return, I will make sure Lily and Darryl are divorced. Thirdly, was to share this good news with you. I swear upon my life that Master Tony is guaranteed reliable. Swear upon your life. Sound interesting, seems like it is indeed reliable. The Lindens discussed among one another. Wentworth indeed was reliable, back then he was always the top student of his school. He was an honest man, and would never trick another person. Moreover, it was clearly shown on his cell phone that he made huge profits every month. Grandmother Linden furrowed her brows and finally spoke. Wentworth, if what you said is true, we can try it out. However, in recent years, our clan's business aren't doing so well, we only have a total of 300 to 400 million in our funds. How about we try it out with 50 million first? Mom, if we're gonna bet, we might as well bet big. Wentworth took a deep breath and stepped forward. Rumor has it that Master Tony is going to retire soon. How about we invest all our funds into it? We'll invest all 400 million. Within a month, we'll get return of 800 million and never have to do it again. What do you think? Upon hearing those words, the members of the clan exchanged looks with each other. Some of them believed that they could give it a shot, while some others rejected the suggestion. "Granny, we can't do this," said Elsa as she stood up, after giving it some considerable thought. "There's no such thing as a free lunch." Elsa angrily stomped her feet. "This is a scam, we should not do it." Smack! Wentworth slammed the table and stared at Elsa intensely. "Elsa, what's the meaning for this? Are you implying that I came back just so I could scam our clan's money? How could you think so badly of me?" "It's not that I think you're bad. I just want to know, if there are free lunches, who would need to work anymore?" You. As Wentworth was about to speak, Grandmother Linden interrupted his words. "Enough, we're all family, why are we arguing?" the old lady said unhappily as she slowly turned her gaze toward William. "William, what do you think?" Even though the knight-shining pearl William gave her was a fake, and he even got beaten up by Harry, he was still her favorite. Naturally, in such important matters, Grandmother Linden would still consult William's opinion. Nobody noticed that William chuckled discreetly. Initial investment doubled within a month. Is this some kind of children's trick? This was a scam. Granny has aged, so it was only natural that she could not tell that it was a scam. Even though William was little stubborn, he still had a sharp mind. Logically, he would advise Granny against such garbage talk, but at that moment, his heart was filled with hatred against Darryl. No matter what Wentworth said, he was still Darryl's father-in-law. Wentworth did not leave a good impression on William. "Granny, I think we can try," said William. William had already thought it through. The money that would be invested would have no return. At that moment, the clan funding would break, and Wentworth's reputation would be banished from the clan. Only then would William be satisfied. "William, are you mad?" Elsa said, raging mad. "You are advising Granny to invest." Before William could reply, Grandmother Linden had already waved her hand and stood up. "Enough, no more words from any of you. I've decided to go according to William's words. We will invest all of our funds." For more episodes, please support my channel by hitting the subscribe button.